Well, tomorrow is National Whiskey Day. It's an age-old beverage that's suddenly getting a lot more attention. A local group is sharing their love of whiskey while honoring some of our brave first responders. Nick Wynn is a local police officer, also the founder of the First Responder Whiskey Society. Is here with his wife, Sarah, who's the executive director. Hey, welcome to the floor. Glad you both are here.
Thanks for having us.
Perfect time on a Friday, one day before National Whiskey Day. But tell me a little bit, Nick, about the Whiskey Society, the First Responder Whiskey Society.
Well, it's a group comprised of police, fire, military, medical staff, and their family members. And we started in 2020, and it was basically just to create a virtual space where police officers and all their friends could just go and just relax and have a drink of whiskey and share with each other.
And you guys are really involved in this, Sarah. Kind of talk about that as far as getting some local barrels and then bottling the whiskey. And then we have some of the bottles right here in front of us.
Yeah, so this is just a couple of the bottles that we've done. For example, this bottle right here was a friend of ours named Jamie who died last year. She was an officer. She loved Whistle Pig rye whiskey, so we reached out to the company. They did an entire barrel for her, and then we were able to get her name put on that, sell it, and then donate that money to her family.
And really that's what sort of the bottom line is here, Nick, is some of the proceeds from the sale of these bottles and some of the other efforts that your group does goes to help first responders and their families, including those who've lost their lives.
Yes, and you know, whiskey is really just more than the grain and water to us. It's actually a representation, a physical representation of the memories of that officer or that first responder that passed. So what we seek to do with the group is really find a way like this one for the Huntington Beach police officer, Nick Vella, to remember them by. So the family gets something that they can hold, their friends and family can get something that they can just open and have a toast and remember their friends by.
So you mentioned before that some of the proceeds have also gone to help some of our first responders, including some local police officers, head back to the East Coast. We saw some video just a moment ago of them on bikes and continuing to raise money. So tell me a little bit about that as well.
Okay, so one of the barrels that we had actually supported was Oak and Eden for San Diego PD motors units to pay their way out to the East Coast, and what they did was the Police Unity Tour was where 2,500 to 2,600 officers will ride from New Jersey down to Washington, D.C. to bring awareness to all the officer deaths that happened the last year. So our San Diego PD officers were able to get out there with their motorcycles and through the proceeds of the sale of our whiskey.
Well, thanks for doing that. Thanks for getting involved. Sarah, here's my next question for you, though. When I think of whiskey, and I don't mean to stereotype here, but I kind of think it might be like an old man's drink. That's not fair. How do we drink whiskey? What's the way people are doing it these days? Is it just sipping it in a cup?
Well, I'm a firm believer that you should just drink whiskey however you like. So over ice, in a cocktail, neat, in a small whiskey glass called a Glencairn are my favorite ways to do it. For these barrels in particular, we spend a lot of time buying single barrels that are particularly good by themselves. They're not blended with any other barrel, and we taste multiple barrels and decide which one tastes the best. So if it was up to me, I would hope that you would drink it neat. And I wouldn't call it an old man's drink. I'd say it's just a delicious drink for anybody.
I think you're changing the face of whiskey here, especially the way you just described it. Nick, for people who maybe want to purchase a bottle and help support some first responders, do you have a website they can go to?
Yeah, they can go to firstresponderwhiskeysociety.org, or they can check us out on Facebook where we have our primary membership, just First Responder Whiskey Society. And one of the bottles that we are promoting right now is this bottle of Yellowstone.
Not based on the show.
Not based on the show, which is phenomenal, by the way. One of my favorite shows. But this bottle of Yellowstone is supporting an LAPD officer by the name of Raul Ramirez, who lost his arm in an accident last year. So the money is going to go help him with his quality of life as well as some medical fees. Okay,
so really making a difference. Hey guys, thanks for doing this. Thanks for getting involved. Thanks for educating us on this drink too.
And before we end, we have one for you.
Oh, wow, look. I think I might know what I'm doing tonight. I'm going to get that label right there. Look, it even has my name on it. That means I can't share it, guys. Too bad. Thank you guys so much for coming in. We appreciate it. First Responder Whiskysociety.org. Carlo?
Heather, an effort a lot of people will be making a toast to, no doubt.